Hi everyone, I am Deeksha Madan, Rajasthan Judicial Services Rank 3 and you are watching me on Delhi Knowledge Track. I will now be sharing detailed guidelines on how to go about preparation for mains and pre. So the mantra for mains preparation is in 6 key points. So the first is active studying, second is active revision, third is case laws, fourth is mental revision, fifth is consistency, and then sixth is answer writing. So I'll be elaborating on each of these points one by one, which can help you in your mains preparation. So the first is active studying, by which I mean is when you start studying a topic, you should not only study it passively by reading the textbooks, rather you should understand the concept behind it and then you should try to engage actively in the topic. You should try note making, however that is subjective and many people just study from the books and maybe make notes in the margin, but personally I highly relied on note making. That helped me limit my resources as well as study the topic actively and note down and jot down the most important dimensions of that topic. So that is what I mean by active studying. The second key point is active revision. So now it's similar to actively studying, and by active revision I mean when you start revising a topic after you have studied it thoroughly, you should not just open your book and start reading the topic again. Rather than doing that, you should first try to recollect whatever you had studied about it and then open the book and then tally with what are the points that you missed while you were revising it actively in your mind. So that is called active revision, because this way you will be able to retain the essence of the topic better. Now the third key point is reading case laws. By reading case laws, I don't mean that you should go frenzy and read like 50-60 case laws which are referred in a book about a topic. Rather than doing that, you should at least be in a habit of reading the whole judgments which are available on the official website of the Supreme Court or High Courts or maybe Indian Qanun. That is a free platform and that is available for all. So you can go to Indian Qanun or any other subscription if you have of SEC or Manupatra, and then you can be in the habit of reading the whole judgment, maybe the landmark ones or the latest ones, because it will help you in understanding the application of law of what you had just studied. So you will be able to apply law on real facts. You would be learning how to do that. Then secondly, you would be able to learn how evidence is appreciated by judges. Thirdly, if you start reading whole judgments, then you would be familiar with the language that the judges use and it will be very beneficial for you in answer writing. Your flow of thought will develop so much that you would be able to write your answers fluidly and even reflect the beautiful language those judgments contain. Then the fourth point is mental revision. So by mental revision, I mean that if you study a topic and then try to revise it mentally when you are doing some menial tasks, maybe when you are brushing your teeth or when you are sitting idly, then you will be able to retain it for a longer time. And you can do this exercise that whatever you have studied during the day, you can revise it mentally in your mind before going to the bed so that it sticks in your head maybe throughout the life. If you start revising the topics mentally, then you would be able to explore many dimensions of the topic and then it would give an edge to your answers. If you start innovating different dimensions of the topic which is not found in the textbook, then you would be able to write it in your answers and it would give you an edge over the other candidates who might be writing whatever is provided in the standard textbooks. So the fifth key point is consistency. Now everybody does hard work and everybody does smart work. So it is required actually for these exams, and more than that, what is required is being consistent. If you are consistent in your studies and you are revising the topics indefinitely multiple times and you are studying daily, the number of hours don't matter. You don't need to put in 10 hours every day or 12 hours every day, but what matters is whether you are actually able to revise and retain what you have studied, and that can only be achieved by consistently studying your syllabus. So the sixth point is answer writing. So answer writing practice, as I discussed in the overall strategy, is very important for these examination. If you start doing answer writing practice, then you would not be at loss for words when you are actually sitting in the examination hall and trying to write an answer, because it's hard to form a flow of thought spontaneously rather than if you have practiced for it. So that is the sixth key point. And the answers, how do you write an answer is also important. For example, in a theoretical question, you should always be intent on writing what has been asked, or if a general question has been asked, then you should try to incorporate every dimension of it. And if a practical question has been asked, then you should not try to write each and everything that you know about that topic, what is related to the topic. However, you should stick to the point, be brief, and only write what is the issue in that practical question, only write about that and apply law upon it, and then give your decision, because that is the way to go about it. And that is, again, the brevity is a lot, it matters a lot in these examinations, because these examinations are lengthy and there is a lack of time to complete the exam on there is a lack of time to complete the exam. For example, in my law paper 2, that is criminal law paper, we had 2 judgments to write, and I could not complete my last judgment, that is the second judgment. So these papers are lengthy, and if you start doing answer writing practice, your speed would increase and you would be able to cover the examination within time and also leave some time to revise. Now I'll be talking about Rajasthan Mains specifically in the sense of a book list, which is only a reference point, because then again you can refer to any standard book that is available in the market. However, I will again like to stress on this point that refer to limited resources and rather focus on indefinitely revising those sources, because it will help you in your retention powers. So book list, for example, for the criminal law paper, the law paper 2, there are subjects like IPC and CRPC. For these, there are standard books in the market. For example, IPC you can refer KD Gaur, and then CRPC you can refer Kelkar. These are the major subjects. And then for minor subjects like Juvenile Justice Act, Negotiable Instruments Act, Probation of Offenders Act, for these acts, the minor acts, you can refer to only the Bare Act reading and focus on retaining the key terms of the Bare Act, understanding the essence behind these laws, why were these laws enacted, and focusing on the latest case laws or any landmark case laws if there are available on these subjects. So book list can be only a referential point, like these books can only be referential points for you. You can refer to any standard textbook. For law paper 1, for example, civil law paper, you can refer to CPC. In CPC you can refer to Takwani, and limitation also Takwani covers. For Contract and Specific Relief Act, you can refer to Dr. Avtar Singh's book, and for Evidence Act, which is a part of the criminal law too, you can refer to Batok Lal's book. And then for Transfer of Property Act, you can refer to Poonam Pradhan's book. For Constitution, you can refer to D.D. Basu or any standard book that you like. The most important part is reading case laws and understanding the concept behind the law, and it is more important than reading 5-6 books. Now, essay papers also form an important part of Rajasthan Judicial Services examination or any other judicial services examination. Therefore, you should focus on preparing for essay writing as well when you are preparing for law subjects. Especially in Rajasthan, cross medium essays should be prepared very well, because English medium students find it tougher to write Hindi essays. So you should focus more on that, but at the same time don't compromise on preparing your own medium essays too. So for essay preparation, I can tell you that for preparation of English essays, what I did was I used to daily read the editorial of the newspaper. You can read any newspaper. I used to read Indian Express, and then I had a notebook which I divided into different sections. For example, social issues, and then environment issues, and then women related issues, and children related issues. So from editorial, if you have an editorial on that issue, then you can read that editorial and add those points in your notebook, so that in future you have all those points collected with you and you can add those in your essays. Then secondly, I had purchased a book by Arihant. It has a collection of essays. You can purchase any book that has essays in it, and then you can use it not for actually copy pasting the essays in your exams, rather than collecting the topics and seeing the kind of topics that there are. You can also do that exercise by referring to the previous year papers to analyze what kind of topics are asked in these kind of examination, and then you can prepare points on those topics by referring to editorials and Google. So be innovative in writing your essays. Don't simply copy paste an essay from a book or any other source. Make your own points and try writing holistic essays. For example, include every dimension of the topic in your essay. If you are writing essay on any topic, you should write the political dimension of it, the social dimension of it, the historical dimension of it, the implications of it in the current society, pros and cons of the topic if that is relevant. So your essay should be holistic and not any one point centric. And for Hindi essays, what you can do is, there is this book by Raghav Prakashan which covers Rajasthan centric essays especially, so you can purchase that and refer to that. However, I personally found it a bit tough, so what I did was refer to state board books of Rajasthan of 11th and 12th, because Rajasthan also asks Rajasthan centric essays. For example, culture of Rajasthan or any monuments of Rajasthan, all that thing. So you can find it in the state board books of Rajasthan, and it's very interesting to read also, and it's easier to understand and retain. And then other than that, you can read Hindi newspaper editorials, because it will lead to your fluency and the level of comfortability with the language. So your flow of expression would improve if you start reading Hindi. So you can do that for Hindi essay preparation, and merely by preparing for essays and collecting points, your essay writing skills would not improve unless and until you practice writing essays, and especially timed essays. So try writing an essay maybe within half an hour, because each essay paper in Rajasthan has 3 essays to write. So that's all about for essay preparation. And other than that, for Hindi essays, you can also do to improve your legal Hindi. You can purchase Diglot Barracks, because they are bilingual. English is translated into Hindi. So when you are reading a provision and while preparing for law, your Hindi would automatically improve, and flow of thought and expression would improve, and it will help you in your essay writing exercise. Now, another important component of mains examination in any judicial services examination is the judgment and order writing, and it especially forms a major part in the Rajasthan Judicial Services examination. So you should always focus on preparing for judgment writing, order writing and charge framing, because these form a part of the syllabus for Rajasthan Judicial Services examination. So for judgment writing and charge writing preparation, the first thing you should do is again reading case laws. So reading case laws, the habit of reading case laws would help you to improve your application of law on a given set of facts, which is required in judgment writing. And if your concepts are clear in substantive law, which would get clear obviously while you are preparing for the examination, it would help you in writing judgments. And other than that, you can purchase a book by Robinjeet and Arjinder. I had referred to that book for preparing for judgment and charge framing. So it will help you in solving. There are solved and unsolved questions in that book, as well as many concepts have been explained how to go about writing judgments, and the format also is there. So it will help you in the format of judgment writing and charge framing, as well as there are marks for writing the correct format also. And then thirdly, for civil order writing, you can refer to any order from the internet. You can Google like how to write an order on temporary injunction application, or how to write an order if a suit has been maybe an order of ex parte has been passed against the defendants, so how to set aside that ex parte order. So there was this question in our civil law exam on this. So you can write this for, you can look for the format online of how to write an order in a civil law paper, and other than that you can buy a course online how to do order writing, or if it is provided in your coaching, then well and good. So the main point on order writing and judgment writing or charge framing is that you should be aware of the format of it, and then the substantive part, that is the reasoning part, how to write the final judgment or order. It would obviously come from your own understanding if you know the substantive law well. For example, in an order writing on ex parte order, you have to analyze from the facts. You have to first know that what you need to prove in such an application. You need to see if the defendant has proved sufficient ground for non-appearance. So you have to see from the facts and then write a reasoned order on that point, whether the defendant has proved it. So that would be enough. That is, if you know, you have a sound knowledge of the tests which are required for that passing of that particular order, you would be able to write it really well. And then similarly, for example, for an order on a temporary injunction application, you know that there are threefold tests for it. That is, whether there is a prima facie case, or whether the party who is asking for a temporary injunction would suffer irreparable loss, and whether it can be compensated for in costs or not. So this balance of convenience test, you know, it is required. So you have to see whether these criterions are being met in that particular set of facts, and you can write a reasoned order in that aspect. I would like to include another most important tip for writing answers is that you should include the key terms of the Bare Act while writing answers. And then also you should focus on interlinking between various laws and write innovative answers, and not just merely copy paste whatever is written in the standard textbooks. And as I had already mentioned before, be brief and to the point. The examiners in these type of examinations are not looking for lengthy answers which have no starting and end point and no structure. So structure your answer, be brief and include key terms, be innovative and be original. If you will write innovative answers, you will get an edge over the other candidates and be able to score more marks. And then other than that, if you focus on building your concepts, you will be able to tackle any kind of questions, be it theoretical or practical. And then there is this big myth about the Rajasthan Judicial Services examination, that it is purely theoretical. I would like to bust this myth and say that it's not so. Maybe it's a little more tilted towards theoretical questions, but for example, the exam I gave, it was 60-40 theoretical to practical. So you should always focus on building concepts rather than cramming the dimensions of a topic, because for writing practical questions while applying law on a particular set of facts, you need to know how evidence is appreciated and what law will be applied on those particular set of facts. And those sets of skill you can only acquire if your concepts are clear. So that is the key to answer writing in these type of examinations. Be brief, be to the point, interlink between various laws, and have a command over the concepts. Have a command over why the law is and not only what the law is. If you include essence in your answers, you will get exceptionally high marks and you will be able to clear it. Now I'll be talking about some preliminary examination specific tips I mentioned before that your preliminary examination will get prepared alongside as you start preparing for these examinations right in the start, like when you do main centric preparation, because in pre the questions that are asked are from bare acts or maybe the names of the case laws, the number of the provision. So you would automatically be learning those when you will be preparing for your mains, because you would be doing a threadbare reading and interpretation of the provision that you are reading. However, there is a little change in approach just right before the examination, that is when you have to sit for the pre. Just in days before that, what you can do is focus on solely the bare act, that is learning the numbers or learning the key terms of the bare act, because questions from those are asked in the pre. And for analyzing what kind of questions are asked, you can refer to previous year papers and then accordingly go about reading the bare act. So what you can do is maybe look at the index and then see that this provision is contained in this section. So it will help you retain the section number better and you will be able to tackle pre. And other than that, for pre you should practice as many MCQs as you can from any standard book. I purchased Singhals and Solanki for Rajasthan, which is Rajasthan centric. So Rajasthan syllabus was recently changed in 2018 and a lot of local laws were deleted. Local laws were deleted from the paper. So there was no point referring to the preliminary examination of previous years. So rather than that, Solanki is a guide which contains previous year questions also, which were that is the syllabus which was similar in the previous examinations and the new syllabus, as well as it has several other MCQs also from that topic. So it may help you in doing the preparation for Rajasthan pre. And then other than that, for pre you should be able to remember the names of landmark cases. For example, Navtej Singh Johar or Joseph Shine, the recent landmark cases that are coming, because those are frequently asked in the preliminary examination. As well as apart from that, you should also focus on the latest cases that are coming in every subject and especially minor subject. For example, in the Negotiable Instrument Act, there are many recent case laws coming due to the recent amendment that has happened. Section 143A and 148 have been added, which talk about the interim compensation in the cases of check bouncing. So it will be really beneficial for you if you keep a track on the Live Law app or any other app, for example Bar and Bench, and have an eye for the latest case laws that are coming. Keep noting them down in your notebook and revise it before the pre, so that you are able to tackle those questions. And then always don't ignore the language part, because it comprises of a big chunk of the examination. There are 30 marks in 15 divided in 15 for English grammar as well as Hindi grammar in the pre in Rajasthan. So for English grammar, you can refer to any book, maybe your high school English grammar book or Renan Martin. It has all the grammar concepts. And for practicing, you can buy R.S. Agarwal. So I did not specifically prepare for English grammar because I needed more preparation in Hindi grammar. So I focused on that. For preparation of Hindi grammar, I had bought a book by Raghav Prakashan. So you can check the syllabus in the official notification of Rajasthan and accordingly prepare Hindi grammar from that book. It contains sandhi and all the idioms and everything, proverbs and all. So never ignore the language part, as it will, even 1 mark matters a lot in preliminary examination. And if the cutoff is 60 and you secure 59 because maybe you ignored one section of the paper, then it is really heartbreaking. So always focus on language along with law part for pre. So these are all the tips and guidance which is required for the preparation of mains as well as preliminary examination, and these can be helpful in not just Rajasthan Judicial Services examination but in all other judicial services examination that happen in the country, since the pattern for all is almost similar and there is just few changes here and there in the types of questions that are asked and a few changes in the syllabus due to the presence of local laws of each state. So thank you for watching.